Hi, so today we're going to be starting the first part of Intro to Database Design. So what I've done is I've grouped similar chapters or chapters that talk about similar concepts into kind of parts. So the first part we're going to talk about are chapters 1 through 3. And if you look at the book, if you downloaded the book and looked at it, you'll find that some of the chapters are just a few pages. So when I say 3 chapters, we're not really talking about a lot of content. At the beginning of every chapter, you will find that I will list a list of videos that I recommend watching for extra information. So the first 2 videos that I want you to watch are going to take you about 25 minutes to watch. The first one is titled, What is a Database? And the second one is, What is a Database Management System? So we're talking about database design. What does it mean when we talk about database? And what do we mean by database management system, DBMS? So what I want you to do is I want you to pause my video right now, go open up the lecture slides, watch these 2 videos, and what I want you to do is take notes on what you think are the benefits of a database management system. Basically, why are we taking this course? Okay, you're going to do that, and then you're going to submit your notes on Blackboard before you continue. So on Blackboard, if you click on Classwork on the side, and then you find part 1, which is chapters 1 through 3, you're going to find the classwork assignments. So the first one is 1.1 benefits of a database management system. You're going to click on that link, and you're going to find that there is a button called Write Submission. You're going to click on Write Submission, and there you're going to be able to type all your notes. Okay, so pause my video, go watch those 2 videos, write your submission, submit it, and then come back and continue with this video that I have. So now that you've watched these 2 videos and kind of gotten a feeling of what it is that we're talking about when we talk about database, we want to talk about, first of all, what was life like before database systems? So if you don't have a database and you want to store information or you want to store data, how would you store it? Well, you know, sometimes we used to take notes. I remember the time when I used to carry a small notebook in my purse so that I would write all the reminders and take notes on it and take people's phone numbers. Now that we have the phone, you know, you can write notes on your phone, you can send yourself an email, you can use Google Docs to take notes and share them with your classmates or share them with people. Sometimes we could also file some data. So for example, old report cards and, you know, blood work from my doctor, I like filing it in my file cabinet. So before databases, or if you don't have a database, you know, the traditional way before was using a notebook to write your data down and all the information, or you save it in a filing cabinet. Now with technology and advancement, we might use a phone, we might use a Google Doc. You know, these are some ways that we can store data, and I'm sure that you can think of other ways too that you store data. So when you're writing information in a notebook or putting them in a file cabinet or even on your phone or a Google Doc, this is called a file-based system. You kind of have files. So even if you're using notes on your phone, if you have files, you have like a document that has maybe some phone numbers and a document that has your to-do list and a document that has the names of your friends who you want to invite to some party. So this is called a file-based system. The file-based system can be a physical file, like a filing cabinet in an office, or it can be a file on a computer or on a Google Drive or on your flash drive. So this is called a file-based system. If you think about a company or you think about MCC, for example, we have different departments. So if I need to store information about a student, many departments need this information. So the financial aid department might need your information as a student to know how much of a loan they should be giving you. The human resources might be interested in your bank account if you're a student worker so that they can, you know, give you, like if they are, if they're paying you, they know like your bank account so they can direct deposit your money. As a professor, I'm interested in your information in terms of what courses you've taken before and prerequisites and what is your major. So when we have a company or we have something like a college or university, there are many, many departments that manage different pieces of information about one entity. And so you have several people who are interested in the same person's information, but maybe different aspects of this information. For example, myself as a professor, I'm not really interested in your address. I'm interested in your name and your department and your GPA and the courses you've taken before, but I'm not interested in your address. Another department might be interested in your address. So there are a lot of companies and universities and systems that really need information about entities. And I'm using the word entity, and we're going to explain what an entity is in a future chapter. If you think about a banking system, if you go to the bank, there are different also departments. So there is a department that might be interested in giving you, opening a checking account for you. Another one that's responsible for credit cards and debit cards. There might be another department or different part of the banking system that's interested in giving loans or the mortgage on buying a new car or a new house. And then there is also a part of the banking system where we have to store information about all the people that are all the people that are working in this bank. So all these systems are complicated and require different kind of departments. And these departments sometimes share information and sometimes they are kind of standalone. So someone, if you have an employee, you might not really be interested in anything about the employee except their information and, where I should be depositing their check and their degree and all that. But if I have someone with a bank account, I might be interested also to connect it with the debit account because the debit account might be extracting the money from the bank account, the checking account. Or I might be interested in their credit card because I will give them a credit card limit that depends on how much money they have in the bank account. So sometimes when you have systems, you have parts of the system that kind of are independent, and sometimes you have parts of the system that depend on each other. And so it's a really complicated system. And so if we look at something like a file-based system, it's not going to scale up in a bank. You're not going to be able to have a list of files, a file that has a list of all of your employee information and another Google Doc that has all your bank accounts, the owners of these bank accounts and the credit cards that they have on file. It's not going to scale. So there is a lot of disadvantages of a file-based system. And what we're going to do in the next few slides is talk about each one of these. What do they mean? Now, I just want to tell you beforehand is that all of these words, you will need to know the definitions for them so that when I ask you about them on an exam, you will be able to identify what it means for something to have a data redundancy or an inconsistency.